Right, this is a piece of 7075 T6. This is going to be for the cylinder. There's a very small amount of lathe work to do today, so let's just get that done and then we'll be over to the mill for probably the bulk of this. I don't think it'll go back in the lathe again. Well, that's the lathe work complete. This is the part we're forming, and that forms within the stock. This is the stock around the outside, and we've got to form this part there. So we're going to take it over to the mill now and do this part. I'm not sure if I'm going to part it off. I might part it off, or I might take it over to the bandsaw and cut it to length, but then we'll be over to the mill to machine this flat face, which will give us a second reference surface. We've got a good reference surface here. The first job on the mill is to get the 19mm face, or the 38mm face. First job is to get this face milled off on that edge. I'll get that milled off and then I can get this down to size, but that's the first job, mill that flat. Not too worried about marking the outer surface slightly, because that will come off eventually. This is just the slug for the final project. Right. Should be tight enough for that. Stick with the video, there's plenty going on in this one. There's some DRO stuff for the hole positions later on, so it's well worth watching the video all the way through. There's quite a bit. There's the boring, there's the tapping, there's the holes on the DRO, so yeah, try and stick with it. Spot on. Right, we've got that faced off now to 38mm. It's a nice finish. Probably doesn't look that nice to you, but these little tooling marks, you can't feel them. So that's down. We've got a registration surface there now, and we've also got a registration surface there now, so we can start by there. There's a little dimple in the middle of that, or is it on the plate? Yeah, it's just that little dimple in the middle. I'm just going to file that off anyway, and then I can face this off down to 44mm, which is the height we're looking for the dimension of the cylinder. Cylinder being this part. We've got this part faced off now, so I'm going to get it faced off to height, which is 44mm, and then I'm going to offset it to get the centre of this bore, which is not centre of this. Right, I'm going to sit that down on a couple of tiny parallels. Right, I can now get that faced off, get this down to 44mm. Okay, that's exactly 44mm now. I'm going to put a couple of stops on, so if I have to take it out, it's not going to, well no, I mean I haven't got to take it out, so I'll just leave it as it is, I think. What I will do, I'm going to put a little copper shim in there, so that I just tighten that off just a little bit more. That's better, so I can tighten that down a little bit more now. Good. Okay. I've got to do a bit of indicating now. I've got to come 29mm to the centre of this bore, and that centre widthways from these 2 points here is the centre that I've got, which should be the same as the centre from there, but I'll indicate that in so we can exactly find where that point is. And then I'm going to make, once I've bored this out, I'm going to make a mandrel to go in there so that I can transfer it over to the rotary table and cut these outside features once I've finished drilling the holes, etc. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some stops either side, so when I take this out and flip it over for the holes on the other side, after I've done the bore and everything on this side, it'll go back in exactly the same position. That's the plan. Right, I've got it indicated in 29mm that way. So that's 29mm that way, and centre across there, which is also centre, double checked from these tangent points there. So that's exactly the centre now of the bore, so I can get on and bore that out. That's got to be bored out to 33mm, and that's a press fit because it's got to have a brass sleeve in it, which is this brass sleeve here. So I'll get that bored out now. blowing fuses. From 0 anti-clockwise to 0, I'm actually bringing the cutter nearer to me by 1/2 millimetre, which will take off a 1 millimetre of the diameter. Right, lock the quill down because I want to slacken the cutter off so when I bring it up it doesn't put a big helicoil or if I just bring it up in one place, a scratch all the way up the bore. So I'm just going to slacken the cutter off so the cutter is clear of the bore before I bring it up. Right, that'll be well clear of the bore now. So now I can let the quill up without any danger of the cutter relaxing and putting a horrible mark in the bore. Right, we're bored out now very nicely to 33 millimeters exactly. Right, putting a couple of stops on, one there, one there. I'm sliding them up to the stock like that, both sides. So when I take this out and flip it over to do the holes on the other side, it'll go back in exactly the same position, so I can use the same DRO measurements as I am for this side. I made these little stops in a previous video. If you're interested, just look at my playlists and you'll find them. I'm using the hole feature on the DRO to drill the 6 holes. They're 6 equally spaced holes, which are these ones, 10mm deep. So I'm going to drill them out 10mm deep, and then I'll come back round using the same coordinates from the DRO to tap each one, just for the pressure on the tap follower thing. So yeah, anyway, I'm just going to drill out these 6 holes, and then what's this one? We might drill this one while we've got it in here at the same time. No, I think I'll drill that after the sleeve is in, because it might come right on the edge of the sleeve actually. No, I'll leave that on for the time being. Just going to drill these 6. I'll just show you how I set it up on the DRO. I just go into the PCD X and Y, because it's well, it's X and Y is what I want the coordinates for, and then change it to X and Z, etc. So I want that, I'll press enter. You center the mill and press enter. Then you set the diameter of your circle pattern, how many holes you want. Well, I want 6 in this case. This is the start angle. If you want it 90 degrees, the start angle 90 degrees from center as the start, then the start angle is 0. The end angle is want it to finish the bolt pattern, and then it gives you the position of each hole in one. So you just move the table until these read 0 for each hole, so you can go through all of the holes individually, and it gives you the coordinates for every one. Back to absolute. Absolute is if I now zeroed this, because it's still zeroed to the center of my workpiece, or the center of the diameter of the circle. So yeah, hope that explains. It wasn't really it's not a how-to, it's just that it explains when I said to you that I'm gonna do it on the DRO, then that's what I do to get the whole pattern. Okay, that's the holes in. Now they're 3.4, I'm using a 3.4 bit, they're M4 with a 7.7mm pitch. You could go 3.3 if you wanted, but 3.4 I'll be fine. 3.3 I'd have probably got away with on aluminium, but you're right on the edge of the tap then. But anyway, this is going to be easy enough to do, so I'm going to tap these out now using the same coordinates. I'm going to start with this one and just follow the coordinates round. I've just done the first tap all the way round. I've got to go round again with the bottom tap, but I'm not going to film that. There's no point in me filming that. And I've also got to do the other side, so I've got to flip it over and do that. So there will be a part 2 on this one, and in the part 2 what I'm going to do is shape the outside by I'm going to put it on the dividing head, I think, and do it with a vertical mill to get the shape. I've got 2 straight bits, let me just show you, hang on. I've got these 2 shapes here, straight edge there and a diameter or radius, whatever you want there. So I'm going to do that, and also I'll be putting the ports in, whether that's in part 2 or that might be a part 3, because I've got quite a bit of milling to do there. I've also got to do this feature mill around the outside. If you notice on here, you can see the screw holes coming through the feature mill. Well, I'm going to offset the feature mill a little bit so you don't see the bottom of the holes. That's the plan. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll just show you this last one because I put a bit of tape on there which gives me the thread depth on the tap, so I know when I'm exactly down to 10mm to the bottom of the hole. There we go, exactly down 10mm. Let's just show you that. These holes are 10mm deep, so I've put this on exactly 10mm from the point to the bottom of that, because what I don't want to do is not realise I'm at the bottom of the hole and keep turning and end up, because it's aluminium, end up chewing the thread out. Right, I just want to show you this bit. This is what I was talking about by putting the blocks in, putting these stops in. By putting those stops in, I can now put this back in exactly the same position as it was when it was up the other way, so I don't need to reset the hole places or recenter it for the DRO. I can now go straight ahead, drill these holes out and tap them. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And to show your appreciation for the time and effort put into making these videos, please consider subscribing and hit the like button, and I'll catch you next time.